Hey guys, it's your boy MKS. Hope everyone's well. It's your boy MKS with another late night. It's 1:45 here in the morning. 1:45 in the morning here in the UK. This is part two, obviously, of my ideas for empowering or advancing African countries, Pan-Africanism in terms of software development. And I know, as I keep mentioning in my previous videos, that I'm mainly focusing on empowering Asia, but I still want to express some of these ideas I have for also empowering Africa. Anyway, I'm going to try and get on with this list that I was talking about in my previous video. If you haven't checked part one, please check it out and look out for part three. Peace and love. Okay, so number 11. I talked about the four before, like indigenous people from. Sorry to repeat this point if anyone's watched my previous videos, but for those who haven't, indigenous people from Africa, Australasia, like Aborigines, Maoris, and people like that. The Americas, like indigenous or Native Americans, and people from Asia, which I'm mainly planning to support right now. But I wish to support these four groups, what I call the four, and other countries as well, like Ireland, as an anti-imperialist. Those are these countries that have been colonized, or all possible countries that have been colonized, I suppose. And who I feel have been treated harshly. Anyway, and I wish to support them in the same sort of areas politically, in terms of supporting their songs, singers, writers, and all sorts of areas. But in terms of technology, I wish to mainly focus on Africa and indigenous Australasians. I suppose this is because it's quite a challenge that I'd like to take on, but also because I think that historically Africans or black people around the world actually have been underrepresented in technology. And also, I feel that if I supported, say, as I talked about in my last video, if I supported Black British or African American or Black European people or whatnot, then when they earn money, the taxes they pay go towards things I don't agree with, like wars and things like that. So I hope for, in terms of supporting people from Africa in terms of technology, hopefully if and when they do well financially and they earn money, it can go back in towards, one, they could also train their fellow Africans, and the second thing is they could also plow any taxes they make back into, or any money they make, they could plow it back into training their fellow Africans and paying for training, rather than say if it's in the West, it would be paid for. People will pay taxes towards things like the Iraq War. So I don't know if that makes sense. As I said in my last video, please ask me any questions if you like, or tell me if something didn't make sense and you want me to try and clarify it more. But I don't want the video to be too long, so I'll answer any questions. But yeah, so I hope to support inventors and people like that across what I call the four. But in terms of and all sorts of different the four in all sorts of different areas. But in terms of technology, I mainly wish to focus, as I say, on Africa and indigenous Australasians. Number 12, I hope to encourage as many mentors as possible. As I say, I'm not really that great at technology myself. In fact, I'm really poor. I can type fast and I can use Facebook. Obviously, I can make YouTube videos. I even had to have a bit of help to learn how to do that sort of thing. But other than that, programming, coding, software, anything, I'm really poor at it, or I don't have a clue what I'm doing. And the concentration that you have to have for that sort of thing. With my brain, it goes all over the place. So I don't know if I'd be good at that if I went on the right course or whatever. But I love the irony of someone who's not that good at tech helping Africa to become the number one for tech. As I've said before, that one of my dreams is to make Africa the number one place for technology by 2030, if not before. If the world's still around by that time, but you never know, I suppose. Only God knows that, I suppose. But anyway, so on that note, so point number 12, to sum it up, the summary of point number 12, for want of better English, is I'd love to encourage mentors and people like that to support people from Africa, people who know what websites to go onto or what YouTube channels to go onto, or whatever books that you have to read to become good at technology. I'd love to see like charities and NGOs and all sorts of people, philanthropists, and that sort of thing. But I hope to come to that in more detail in the future. But also Africans to train each other, and maybe Africans to learn about other Africans who have done well at technology, so they can get inspired by them as well. So things to inspire and motivate and encourage, including mentors and people like that who might give the tough love when necessary, but also can inspire in the way they feel is best to teach Africans, and hopefully go in groups of people, and also people from Africa could learn about child protection or how to keep children safe online and all sorts of things like that. Number 13, I hope my ideas aren't too quirky or don't put people off, and aren't too weak or too over ambitious or unachievable or whatever, but I'm hopeful that we can achieve a lot more than we think we can achieve. Number 14, I hope if Africa does well, it can help to solve not only its own problems, but also help the rest of the world as well through technology, like using technology to tackle terrorism and global warming and all sorts of issues. And also people from, as an anti-imperialist, as I said before, I love for Asia and Africa to network together. And if Asians train Africans in technology, then Africans can also use that technology to return the favour and support Asia in other areas. So I hope there will improve relations between Africa and Asia generally as well, in all possible areas. But where Asians train up Africans, but Asians can empower in other areas, as I say. Number 15, as I said before, I hope for Africans to prioritise technology and work towards goals and train for as many hours as they can. I know sitting on a PC all day is probably not the most healthy, so I still think they need to go for a walk sometimes, or go to the park or go and play football. But if they can sit in a room or a library or somewhere else in the future and train for as long as possible, I think that'd be great. But yeah, so African and also like YouTubers from Africa itself, and also people from the diaspora and people who wish to support Africa and Friends of Africa. Maybe I'd love to make networks and groups like Friends of Africa, Tech Trainers of Africa, Mentors of Africa, Tech Mentors of Africa, and things like that. Many of which would probably focus solely on tech, or at least have some sort of focus on tech for Africa, and have a goal of support. And maybe if Africans work towards that goal, 1 billion people working together towards making Africa the number one for technology. Maybe they'll achieve that goal, hopefully even before 2030, which would be excellent, and in my opinion, and also empowering people of all backgrounds across Africa, especially Indigenous people, women, and also my fellow dyslexics, autistics, and possibly people from Africa learning about the strengths autistic people have in terms of technology and areas like that. So yeah, a lot of the projects I wish to focus on. I hope for Africa to focus a lot on technology. Maybe, like, say, for instance, tourism. It can use 10% of its tourism revenue to reinvest in technology, which in turn could be used to enhance its tourism industry as well, because it can make it, for instance, it can make it safer for tourists or enhance the experience, so more people want to go to visit parts of Africa as well. So it's a reinvestment, and also a reinvestment in the youth, which can cut which can cut youth poverty or crime, unemployment, which can lead to those sorts of things. By tackling unemployment, it can cut those other problems as well. Number 16, I hope for people to share ideas and suggestions of innovative ways that other people might not have thought of to support Africa. And number 17, I hope for as many people as possible to support African tech. As I say, to donate whatever profits they can to buying training materials, laptops, PCs, mobile phones, and all sorts of things like that, and using imaginative ways to train people in Africa across the continent. 18, again, I hope for people from Africa to have the positivity to believe they can lead the way and to prove racists or people like that wrong by doing well, and also to inspire and motivate and encourage each other. And also by doing this, they'll be more united. 19, I think technology could be used to solve a lot of problems that are faced in Africa and around the world. And 20, I hope for the older people to teach the younger people And I'd love to know what you think about this video. I hope someone out there liked it. If there are any bits you didn't like or think I can improve on, please let me know as well. Any questions, please don't hold back any feedback or comments. Peace and love.